In Korea, there's a problem, a very big problem. A little bit of Korean arisa. Look, hamsamida. Boo, boo, boo. Boo, boo, boo. This thing is impossible to eat. It's actually pretty rare in Korea to leave a restaurant and be disappointed. I trusted you, Jack. I trusted you. Well, that's how it is. Wow, this exploration really isn't easy. Annyeonghaseyo friends, I hope you're doing well. New day, new adventure, new vlog, still live from South Korea. More specifically, in the charming little city of Yeosu. Here, in the south of South Korea. And live from the Yeosu Square, which is really one of the main squares in the city of Yeosu. So Yeosu was actually a Korean admiral who in the 16th century led his troops into battle to repel the Japanese invasions. And actually it's from here, from the city of Yeosu, that he established his battle plans. And so he led his troops into battle. That's why he's very popular throughout Korea. He's really the national hero of South Korea, but especially here in Yeosu. That's why you can find lots of statues and murals of him. And there's even a model of his ship right over there. It's a bit like in the movie 300, that is, with just one ship, he actually defeated an entire Japanese army. No, that's just the general idea, without claiming to be an expert. As usual, I recommend that you supplement my limited information with content that's richer than mine, whether it's on the internet, in libraries, or through guides. So this is where we start our day, our new exploration of Yeosu. Since, well, yesterday, if you followed yesterday's episode, I recommend you go check it out. But also the whole South Korea adventure playlist, because there are quite a few episodes that were filmed just before in lots of cool cities in South Korea. We were delayed by the rain, but that's fine since this is our starting point. Yesterday, I took a great night walk with a kind gentleman who showed me the city at night, and it was fantastic. We actually passed by here. Today, we'll do this together during the day and take our time, which is perfect because he gave me great tips. He told me, if you go to the fish market, you can try some sashimi if you like that, and so on. Well, I think that's what I'm going to do actually, because it's already noon, I haven't had breakfast, and I'm hungry. But yeah, we're taking our time and we're going to explore Yeosu together. Let's go. So right now, I'm actually inside a kind of dragon's head. And at night, it's all lit up. It's so beautiful. So how do I know that? Well, it's simply because yesterday, with the nice gentleman I took the night tour with, we actually drove through here by car. And it was right here that he showed me a bit of the Yeosu Square and explained to me that across from it was the fish market. And then just there, on our right, we have the famous representation of Admiral Yeosu's ship. And apparently, as you can see, you can go inside. I think it's a kind of small museum dedicated to the Korean Admiral. The ship is really beautiful with its dragon head like that. You see over there, that's the statue of the Admiral, and right here, that's the body of the dragon I was telling you about. Actually, it forms a kind of bridge, and it's really beautiful at night. You really have to come here at night because it's fantastic. Then we have the head of the dragon over there, which is all lit up. Honestly, it's incredible. If you're ever passing through this city, come at night because it's fantastic. Over there, look, if you pay attention, you can see the famous cable car. So actually, yesterday we were over there on the other side. It's great to start the day here because it's really beautiful. There are fishing boats right there. And there's also a nice walk here. Wow, which leads to the fish market. Well, I'm going to go take a look inside to see what it's like. It's really nice because you can actually visit what seemed to be the boat, you know, in its actual size, in my opinion. And there are representations of what might have happened during the different battles. That Admiral Yeosu led, you see. These are the troops preparing cannonballs, boom, to destroy the Japanese ships. And it doesn't stop there, it's really cool. You know, we can actually go down and see how it all happened below. There you go, there you go. Here they're regaining a bit of strength, you know, a little bibimbap, and they're back at it. And here is where they rested and meditated. Honestly, this city hasn't stopped surprising me since yesterday. I love Yeosu. I love all these walks by the sea like this. Look, you can even rent bikes here like a kind of city bike. Yeosu City. They even provide you with a little helmet. It's amazing. and there are beautiful walks. There are plenty, you see, of machines for exercising outdoors. If you go over there, on the other side actually, when you cross the street by the square, there are plenty of food and street food options. I see lots of people getting food and coming to sit down to enjoy their street food right there on the square with the nice little view. And then you see, you know, all these murals. Everything. Those depictions there. With the Admiral's likeness. I told you, he's really the national hero of Korea. Besides, now I understand why there was also his statue in Seoul at the beginning. I didn't get it before. I saw a statue, so there you go. A figure who seemed to be important for South Korea. With the famous ship, and it was a lady who kindly explained it to me actually. Who this man was and why he was so important to South Korea. You see, like I told you, I'm discovering things at the same time as you. I'm learning the country's history. Well, a part of the country's history at the same time as you. And that's also why he's on the coins. And I think even on some banknotes, but I don't want to say anything wrong. But she had shown me some coins. The lady, she even gave me some coins. And here you've got all the stores, you know, to buy fishing equipment. I see nets. That's the Indiana Jones music. It's crazy, huh? All this fish. Yesterday, on top of that, we went through a kind of fish auction. Like a big fish warehouse with the nice gentleman. And it was impressive, all those tubs of fish. La, 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 la. Oh, la, 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 la. It's crazy, right? I'm really surprised by the amount of fish. Well, I say that, but a few days ago, I was at the biggest fish market in South Korea, in Busan. So I should have said, 안녕하세요, they do that with their little sewing machine. Then dried octopuses. La, 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 la. A little Christmas present. Here you go. Dried octopus. Mussels. Dried mussels apparently as well. 안녕하세요, here you go. This is truly the start of the fish market. There. I wonder if this is the place where the man said sashimi to me. And here we are. We're entering the Yeosu fish market. A little bit of Korean harissa. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요, there's plenty to do, right? If you're a fish lover, this is the place. South Korea and Japan, that's the place to be. If you like octopus, then you'll be delighted. Delighted. I don't want to look at little octopuses. I don't want to show everything again because, well, I've already shown a good part of the Busan fish market, which is the largest fish market in South Korea. It would be a bit redundant to show you everything again. I really recommend you go watch the previous episodes. They're just as fantastic as this one will be. I'm sure we're going to have a really good day. Now, what I'd really like, 안녕하세요, is to eat some sashimi. Sashimi. Thank you. Thank you, it's good. Kimchi, kimchi, kimchi. Katri kimchi katuki. Katri kimchi katuki. So kind. That's the lady who offered me some. I think it's turnip or radish. Thank you. 감사합니다. Good. It's good. It's good. Thank you. Good. Very good. Very boo. It's good. I am subtitles by Jeremy Diaz. Very happy to say a little about the apple. So, here's what happened after the fish market. I made a pretty interesting little discovery. That is, I was looking for a restaurant that serves sashimi, just like the gentleman explained last night. Right next to the market, you know, the parallel street, there's actually a little alley where the ladies were actually cutting the vegetables. I came across a kind of small restaurant, but they served noodles with seafood. So I politely asked the lady who works at the restaurant where I could eat sashimi. And actually, she explained something to me. Well, I more or less understood. She basically told me, second floor. So, you take the stairs. And actually, above the fish market, there's a little walkway, but you really have to know about it because first you have to find the stairs. You should know that actually, there's a floor above the fish market where there are lots of restaurants, and the concept is really simple. You buy your fresh fish at the market. You choose what you want, the size and so on. You take it up to the first floor, and for 5,001, he'll prepare it for you as sashimi. But why didn't I do that? For the simple reason that when I went to the fish market, all the fish they wanted to sell me were big fish, and I couldn't see myself eating all that. So there was a lady who wanted to sell me a fish that was quite big for 25,001. That was about 18 euros, something like that. And I thought to myself, no, come on, that's a waste. I might not eat all of it. There you go. In general, from what I've seen, at least in restaurants, it's really the kind of thing you share, you know, among friends and family. Or, at the very least, well, you come alone, but then you take the leftover food home with you if there's any left. That's it. Plan B. Actually, this morning, while looking for some information about the city of Yeosu, I came across a really high-quality blog, and credit should be given where credit is due. By Jack. The Korean Dream, who's a YouTuber living in Korea, making videos about Korea, and he also has a blog. He came here to Yeosu and made a great video about it. So Hamzamida. So, well, by checking his blog, he gave the address of a restaurant, but apparently it doesn't exist anymore, where he actually ate some kind of sashimi for 10,001. Except that apparently, since the video is at least 5 years old, well, the prices are no longer up to date, and I think the restaurant where he ate isn't around anymore either, because I looked for it and it doesn't exist. But I think we're in a restaurant that at least looks like the one where he ate, and so here I ordered a dish. It arrived, here it is, sashimi. And this costs 20,001, so we're far from the 10,001 mentioned in the video. But like I said, maybe there's been some inflation since then. I don't know, it's not a big deal. So 20,001 is about 13 euros, something like that. And here we are, sitting comfortably in a nice little traditional restaurant, you see. Everyone comes to eat here. The local spot, time to enjoy the meal. Of course, needless to say, we're in Korea, so it always comes with all these little side dishes, you know, traditional and typical Korean ones. If you go to a restaurant and they don't even give you kimchi, you leave. Because then you think, no, that's not possible, I'm not in Korea. You know, that's as basic as it gets. In the video, the place looks like this. You see, it's far from the setting. I think it doesn't exist anymore, actually, or maybe it's changed, they've remodeled it. I'm not really sure. And the dish is supposed to look like this. But actually, I think that's closer to what we have. There you go. And it looks very appetizing because not only do we have raw fish with sesame seeds on top, but we also have lots of vegetables. And underneath, look, bam, we have a layer of rice right there. Sorry, I know you're not really supposed to touch with your fingers, but it's just to show you a bit of Korean food here in Yeosu. Enjoy your meal, it's good. If you visit Korea and can't find chopsticks on the table, don't worry, they're often not there. I had to politely ask the lady for them. They're in a small drawer, here you go. This way at least you'll know, right? It's always useful instead of searching for 10 minutes. Sometimes it's on the table, sometimes not. Alright, let's taste this, it looks really good anyway. So, I added a little bit of soy sauce on top and a little bit of hot sauce, but just a little, you know? I don't want to ruin my dish and I don't feel like breathing fire. Simple and effective. We're by the seaside, just a 10-minute walk from the fish market. Can't get fresher than this. However, I don't know what kind of fish this is, you know? Well, after all, I've already shown a bit when I was in Japan, you know, since we ate sashimi there and really enjoyed ourselves in Japan. I asked the lady earlier when I was at the market, what kind of fish do you want to sell me? And Google translated it as sea bream. There you go. So, is it sea bream? I don't know. Honestly, I can't say anything stupid. If you know, don't hesitate to tell me, you know, in the comments. That's what it's for. I say it every day. But really, go ahead and leave comments. That's what it's for. It's good. Alright, no problem. I love people if they're really super nice. When they see me filming, they're really respectful. They try to be careful and so on. There's no problem. Just a very slight criticism, if I can put it that way. It's not to criticize, you know, but you know that. I like to be completely honest about what I think. It's not bad at all. But I think that, on the other hand, the fish, it's not like, you know, a nice slice of tuna or salmon where it's easy to chew. It almost melts in your mouth. Here, I find that the fish, I have a bit of trouble chewing it. It's a bit, well, it's a little bit, if I can say it like that, rubbery, you see. Not bad, but well, they don't melt in the mouth. It's really hard to chew them properly. That's a shame. It feels like eating chewing gum or something. It's a shame. It slightly ruins the culinary experience. A fish that's tough. Hamza Mida, what is this? Nice, she brought me a little fish soup. Yeah, I've tried it. I'm only somewhat convinced, somewhat sold on it. It's not bad, but it's not, I mean, despite everything. These aren't the best sashimi I've had during this whole trip between Japan and Korea. To be honest, I also made myself a promise in Korea. Yeah, I just can't eat the fish, actually. I have to take it out of my mouth. A little bit disappointed? I think it's not that it's bad, actually. I really think it's the fish itself. I don't feel like this is a fish that's actually very good as sashimi. Maybe I didn't get the right parts of the fish, maybe that's it. Look, this is what the ladies were cutting up earlier and kindly offered me. So here, it's prepared with sauce. You know, honestly, I never know if it's turnip or some kind of big radish, thank you. What I can tell you is that it's very good like this, prepared as a condiment. I love it. I'm really a bit sad because in the end, all the pieces of fish I try to eat, I just can't manage. I mean, no matter how much I chew and chew and chew, it's just impossible to really enjoy them, to savor them. I'm forced to, sadly, really, well, spit them out because I just can't do it, actually. Or else you just have to swallow them, you know? It's impossible to chew. It's like some kind of big string inside. Careful, okay? Not disappointed with the restaurant, the service, or anything else. Just disappointed with this dish. It's impossible to eat this thing. I must have gotten the worst parts of the fish, actually. That's how it is when you travel. Sometimes you come across great surprises, you taste fantastic things, and then sometimes, well, you might end up a bit disappointed. Eating at restaurants when you travel is a bit of a lottery. So, 20,000 won to eat rice and vegetables is a bit expensive, plus I was really happy because I hadn't eaten anything all day. So, I was really looking forward to coming here to enjoy a nice little dish of sashimi. We'll make up for it tonight if you suggest a good spot. In Korea, it's still rare to leave a restaurant feeling disappointed. I don't feel like I ate much except for rice and vegetables, but at least it was fresh, you know, since you can even see the lady cutting the vegetables in front of you and so on, since her kitchen is open. But yeah, like I said, that's part of the game. Sometimes there are some nice surprises, we just stumble upon them by chance. And well, sometimes some are just not as good. I trusted you, Jack. I trusted you. Not you, Jack. Not now. Not after everything we've been through. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe it changed, you know, I don't know, maybe the owner changed or something, I have no idea. The fish quality was lacking, so I had a mediocre dish. It's starting to rain. And to top it all off, I had forgotten my backpack in the restaurant. Yeah, I just left. I was already gone by then. I had been walking for almost 10 minutes. Then I realized I forgot. I realized I didn't have my backpack. I don't know. I was distracted. Maybe my mind was somewhere else. No idea. But no need to panic. We're in South Korea. No worries. You can leave your backpack, your cell phone, or your camera on the table. No one will touch it. No one will steal or anything like that. South Korea is super safe. That's also one of the advantages of this country, being able to walk around freely. That's it. Like this, with the camera in your hand, without having to look around wondering if someone is going to snatch it from you or if something will happen. No, that's it. It's actually quite pleasant. So, well, actually, the nice lady at the restaurant kept it for me. And on top of that, my drone was inside my passport too. Basically everything, right? We're picking up exactly where I left off yesterday. The arcade where I took refuge is right there. So now we've got a nice walk ahead of us to head toward a small island called Hodong-do. Well, I don't know how we're going to finish the day because this exploration in the rain really isn't easy. And on top of that, it's windy, so not easy. But hey, we're hanging in there, we're hanging in there, we're hanging in there. There are some really beautiful walks here, you know? It's really nice. So when the weather is nice, I can't even imagine how great it must be to walk around here. And the thing is, honestly, rain isn't really what bothers me the most, even if it's not exactly pleasant to wander around in the rain. But what's also not easy is dealing with the equipment. You know, electronic equipment doesn't really handle water very well. I already lost a camera at the beginning of my adventure when I was in Japan, because my previous camera unfortunately fell into a hot spring. So I had to urgently buy another one to be able to continue this adventure. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to bring you all these great episodes if I hadn't bought a new camera. By the way, for everyone who keeps asking me questions like what equipment I use, how I pay when I'm abroad, and so on, just know that in the description box, you'll always find all the good tips. I put the links there. The devices I use. I put links to the FAQs where I've already answered some of the questions you sometimes ask me. I include links to the bank cards I use when traveling. In South Korea, for instance, I pay for nearly everything with my bank card, including the restaurant I just visited. And there you go, I have a special travel bank card that doesn't charge me any fees when I pay abroad or when I withdraw money abroad, etc. There you go, so all the good tips are always in the description box, you know? We often forget about that description box. It's a shame because I always put a lot of information in there so that you don't have to struggle like I did years ago when I was looking for advice and so on. And also, I often put the link to the hotels where I stay if they're good places, or the link to the restaurants I go to when I think they're really good places, good spots, so that you can easily find them if one day, well, you visit a country, a place, a city in the world that I've already explored. Well, that's it. It's really nice on this side too. There are lots of little street food stands. And for us, the way to get to Hodong-do Island is that way. Thank you. Thank you. Ending on a bad note, that's not like me. Right. So, I'm taking advantage of these little street food stands to grab a little dessert here, a little waffle. The lady is really nice. Actually, she added some extra little cakes for me in addition to the waffle. I just got a waffle with cream inside. It cost 3,001. She added a bunch of, well, little cakes for me. So nice. I really love it. People here are really friendly. So, well, let's try these little cakes. They're still warm too. It warms you up. It feels good. I want to keep them in my hands. So nice. It looks like some kind of like crepe batter. And then, well, inside the standard filling, you know, the famous bean paste. Really good. I hadn't tried these ones yet. I like them. The waffles here are good. The one I tried in Seoul on the first day, during my first exploration, it was incredible. It was really cheap too. So yeah, it's really good. Filled with cream. And she put some kind of, I don't know, like little syrups inside. It goes down smooth, I have to say. All right, is it calming down a little bit now? But here, in the summer, it must be really nice, right? You rent a little bike, go for a little ride like that. You can also reach the island by a pedestrian path. Actually, I think it's connected by a bridge. Yeah, that's it. You see, right across. Well, that's exactly where we're going. And there you go, we're in Korea. You know, there are always public restrooms everywhere. So if you need to pee or poop, there you go. Well, you won't be in a bind. No, there are always restrooms everywhere. That's right. It's nice though, isn't it? They built a little bridge so we can get to the island. Yeah, it's windy. Sorry about that. Really, I think you can probably hear a bit of the wind when I talk. Also, I lost my mic, just so you know. I've already explained it several times. Since my camera fell into a hot spring, I'm now using my camera's mic, which at least has a small windscreen, so that's handy. Normally, you shouldn't hear anything unless there's really a tornado, but here, it's not the same. But you should still hear a little bit of wind. It's not as good as my external mic that I usually use. I'm sorry. There are also some little droplets each time too. On the camera. Sorry, wait, I'll clean it for you. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to put my finger on it.
It's okay, it's Kaibaibo. Kaibaibo, Kaibaibo. Boo, yes, bye boo, boo, that's it.
Subtitles by Jeremy.
Diaz won't wake up. Yes, bye boo boo. Yes, bye boo boo. Yes, bye boo.
Yes, bye boo. Yes, bye boo boo. Bye boo Kai.
Bravo, yeah, that's so cute. Actually, he's playing rock, paper, scissors to go up the stairs. Hamzamida. Kai, vai, va. Kai, vai.
Va. Kai, vai, va. Kai, vai, va.
Wow, look at that. Actually, we just arrived at a place called the Dragon's Heart. Don't ask me why, I have no idea. But it's just so beautiful. It's really nice. You know, there are lots of spots like this right in the middle of nature to come and recharge your batteries. Maybe that hole is the Dragon's Heart. This cave, that's so cute. Well, there you go, that's really nice. A place where you can be protected from the wind and the rain. And on top of that, with a beautiful view. You can actually go up to the top of the lighthouse. I didn't know that. I'm discovering things at the same time as you. Actually, I saw that there was an elevator. I took it. And there you go. I'm on the second floor of the Yeosu lighthouse. From the small island where we are right now. It's really nice. Because actually the advantage is that we have a 360-degree view. That's it. We can go all the way around. We can go all the way around. We can do it. That's it. Look, isn't it beautiful? I went through that big building over there. I took an elevator. And I actually arrived at the place where you take the cable cars. The famous Yeosu cable car. And from here, I have a fantastic view of this charming little building. On the island where we were just a moment ago. Look, just to show you a bit of the distance we've covered. Look, so we actually started the visit from over there. So from Yeosu, where the port is and so on, the little marina. Then we walked all along like this, and then reached the island. I went around the island since I can even see the lighthouse, to come back this way. And there you go, well guys. And from here the view is really nice. Even though it's very windy. I'm not hiding it from you. There are still a few little drops here, but it's still really nice. And actually it's really cool because it's a cafe with a panoramic view. Well, today, since it's cold, it's nicer to be inside than outside. But in the summer, with the little tables out there, wow. Even in the spring, it must be amazing. Well, in Korea there's a problem. A very, very, very big problem. The thing is, it never actually stops. I mean, you think there will just be one viewpoint with a little panoramic cafe. But no, you keep going. Step by step, the path just keeps going. And boom, you find yourself there. Even higher up than where we were just a moment ago. To end up in yet another cafe, restaurant, and so on, there you go. With a nice view. There you can see the picture window, and bam, you have a view of that. So we're right next to the cable cars. But how fantastic is that? It never really stops. And then you think, well, that's cool, I visited a little park on the island and everything, it was nice. But no, it keeps going. Another little park, there you go. Where you can go down on the other side, actually, to end up near downtown Yeosu. It never stops. That's it. That's South Korea. One moment, let's see what we... I said we'd make up for it tonight. A promise is a promise. I returned to the restaurant where I dined and met the nice gentleman last night. It happened at the same table with him sitting across from me. And it's here that last night I had an excellent bibimbap, by the way, which was offered to me by that nice gentleman. And I absolutely wanted to share this place with you because it's got style. It's 5 minutes on foot from my hotel. And that's how we wrap it up. It's 9 o'clock and it's not closed yet, which is actually pretty good for South Korea because here in Korea, there are a lot of small restaurants that close quite early, you know. For example, the one I liked in Busan closed at 8:30. It was already closed. So this time, for a change, I got chicken. Yeah. Well, I've already shown you, right? I have chicken with sauce. So I don't really know exactly what it is, but it kind of reminds me of what I used to eat in Japan. The famous chicken curry. I added a little egg. Of course, we have all the side dishes on the table, you know, kimchi and so on. And it only cost me 7,500 won. 5 euros, that's nothing. 5 euros, that's it. Plus I have an egg. I asked for it myself. That way, I get my dose of protein. Actually, the thing is, I don't understand anything on the menu because everything is in Korean. And even though I use Google Translate, trying to understand by taking pictures to translate from Korean to French, I still don't always understand all the menus. But actually, I saw a lady behind me who was eating this, and it made me want it. So I just told the lady, I want the same thing, please, with chicken if possible. And she said, yeah, no problem. There you go. There you go. The sauce is pretty good. It's a sweet and salty sauce with a drizzle of mayo on top. That was my approved choice, the safe bets. I'll add the location in the description box, only one thing left to say. Let's dig in. Ultimately, I find that my best travel discoveries usually happen by chance. Also, often many of you give me recommendations, send me little messages on Insta like, Ben & Co, if you're there, try this place, do this. Especially when I was in Turkey, I had a lot of good tips. I remember every time I went somewhere, I would tell myself, Ben, if you go there, you have to try this, you have to go there, you have to do this. And it's true that for Japan and Korea, I got a few fewer tips. So maybe these are countries that you haven't explored before me, or something like that, I don't really know. But thank you every time for all your little tips. It's really a gold mine. This hostel is funny because I never run into anyone. Except for our friend right here, who comes to give me little cuddles every time I come back. This morning you were sleeping when I left. I saw you, huh? You were sleeping in too. It was 11 o'clock and he was still snoozing. I feel sorry for you being tied up like that. You need to go stretch your legs a little. He's nice. Yeah, I'm here, yeah. There can't be much traffic. Right now. But seriously, it's like a ghost town in here. Even the little old lady, I haven't seen her again today, except this morning when I left, but that's it. There's no one. It's so weird. We're not complaining. It's peaceful, quiet, and nice. Maybe just not the season. Well, end of the day, end of the episode. I hope you had a good time with me. I really did my best to explore this beautiful city of Yeosu as best I could, despite the rain, the wind, and so on. Well, it wasn't easy, but we gave it our best. So I really hope you enjoyed it. And well, Yeosu, I already told you yesterday how much I like it. It's really a beautiful little city, and if you ever come to South Korea, don't hesitate to check it out. It's really worth it. It's nice. It's a great place to visit. It's cool. It's relaxing. And that's exactly what we needed. So I didn't take the cable car, the gondola, since I already did it a few days ago in Busan. Well, there you go. I decided to save my money for something else. Honestly, if the weather had been nicer, I might have been tempted. But with this rain and such gray weather, getting to the other side and not even being able to enjoy it, well, it's a bit of a shame. So, well, I ended up in the park up on the hill actually, which is right next door. It's really nice. There are some really beautiful spots with another Admiral statue, and well, it was great. I came back down, I sat here for a bit, and after that, I went to have dinner at this great little restaurant. So that's it. I really want to thank you all for watching this episode. I'll see you tomorrow, live from South Korea. We're changing places, heading to, well, no, I'm not telling you. Stay tuned. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye. Yes. Yes, that's true. Remember, when nothing is planned, anything can happen. Bye.